Hello and welcome everybody. This is Rashmi from Designhill. First of all, I hope you guys are doing great and staying safe. Thank you so much for joining us. I would love to know from you where you are joining us from. So do let me know that in the chat section. All right. So today we have Israel with us. Israel, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. So we are
Close enough.
good. So today we are going to discuss about how to get more leads and revenue with your Facebook ads. The event is brought to you by Designhill, which is the world's leading creative marketplace that caters to the creative needs of businesses and individuals alike who can source high quality designs and buy unique products through its print on demand marketplace, which is called Print Shop by Designhill. So let me quickly introduce our speaker for the day. So Israel Ratz has 8 years of experience in online marketing. He has perfected the process of helping companies find the best audience and develop the best ads for their businesses. At the age of 26, he became the CEO of Ratz Pack Media. Ratz specializes in advertising high-ticket products and has extensive experience in ad management for diverse markets including B2B, SaaS, online publication, apps, and more. Some of his clients include Belly Blossoms, Postmodern, Jukebox, Powtoon, Thinkific, and many more. Israel, please go ahead and say hi to the audience.
Thank you. I'm very excited, and I'm ready to get started.
Wonderful.
Before I start, I'm curious if anyone here has already run Facebook ads. I know that there's a poll option here. I'm curious if we could do a poll of just a simple yes or no. Have you run Facebook ads for your business in the past?
Okay, so my team is working in the back end. Robin, if you can hear us, please run a poll about whether the audience who have joined us today have run the Facebook ads or not. And guys, it would be great if you can respond to the polls so that it is easier for us to, take this session ahead. All right, before we get started with the session, here's a big announcement for everyone. We are giving away certificates to the attendees who would stick to the event, through the workshop till the end. You just can't miss on this chance, so stay tuned. Also, you can take the screenshot of this event and post it on Twitter and tag Designer DH and Rats as well. The Twitter handle of Designhill and Israel will be in the chat, so you can find us there. One lucky winner have a chance to win a print shop gift card worth $50. So I'm sure you would not want to miss that. Also, as a gesture of appreciation that you could join us for this event, we will be sharing some cool offers at the end of the session as well. So stay tuned for that as well. All right, so that was about the announcement. Now, before we begin with the session, let's quickly look at what Designers is all about.
Need to get your parents off your back? Head to the world's #1 creative marketplace, Designhill.
When I started my photography business, I needed something that said, this was more than just a hobby. It's not a hobby, Mom. That's why I went to Designhill and got an amazing logo, super fast, at a price I could afford. The process was easy using Designhill's logo maker. Just enter the name of your business, then pick out a number of designs that inspire you. I'll pick this one and that one looks cute. Then pick your colors or let the system decide. Add some more info like a slogan, the industry your business is in, and your budget. The logo maker, using machine learning and artificial intelligence, will design thousands of logo variants that you can choose from and adapt. In fact, I was able to get everything from business cards to t-shirt design and complete social media kit, all with the click of a button. With that, I'm all set. Now everyone I meet knows I'm a legit photographer. Even my mom. It's real. That's decaf.
Let the world know it's real and build your brand with Designhill.
All right, that was about one of the service of Designhill. And now we are all set to start the session. If you have any question, please put them in the question section and we will take all the questions at the end. If you have the same question, do upvote the questions and we will take the most upvoted ones. All right, Israel, we are all set. Over to you.
Amazing. Thank you so much. So I know we did this poll. I'm curious if we can get some sort of data on that poll before we start, just so that I can better tweak this to the audience. I knew there were about 30 people here at the beginning, hopefully more people now, but just a sort of idea on the poll, if people know anything about the platform before I jump into making all the monies.
All right, yes, we have, yes, guys, it would be great if you can respond to the poll. I see almost 11 people have already answered. If few more can also answer, we'll get an idea about whether you have some knowledge about Facebook ads or not, and that would be helpful for the session as well.
So while I'm waiting for that, and when you do get a response, just as a ballpark answer, I want to dig into the first part of this presentation. So just confirming I am sharing my screen. You should see me, and then probably me a dozen times. There it is. Okay, so I'm switching here to my presentation, and we're going to look here. So the question that we want to answer is how we drive more sales and leads into our business using Facebook ads. So the first thing we want to understand is how Facebook actually works. So my first tip when I talk to any business is what do you actually want to achieve with your ads? What is the goal that you have when you're spending money? So a lot of businesses will come to me and they'll say, I want to get a video go viral. I want a video to get 10 million views, and I want to spend, however much money to get 10 million views. So I said to them, that's really a fantastic goal. What if you did get those millions of views, but then no one actually came to your website, you left with no leads and no purchases? Would you be happy with the results of that campaign? You spent however much money, let's just say you spent $100,000 and you get a video to get 10 million views, and then not a single person actually buys or becomes a lead to your business. Was that a successful campaign? And they'll usually say, well, I mean, obviously I want purchases. So my response to them is, okay, great, let's turn that around. Let's say you get no video views, but you get dozens, if not hundreds of sales on your product. Would you be happy? You spend the money, you triple, quadruple, 10 times your money, but not a single person actually watches that video. And usually they'll say, I mean, obviously I'm making lots of money. I'm happy with that result. So the first thing you have to do is clarify why you're actually spending your money and what your real hopes and goals are with that campaign. Because if you can't first tell yourself and your business what those goals are, all you're going to end up getting is data that's really unhelpful. And we're going to get into what data Facebook can give you and what you actually want to learn from that data. So that's the next step. But the first stage is to really understand what is my business goal. And then you want to tell Facebook what that goal is. And we're going to show how to do that. So just to understand why it matters is on the first stage of setting up your campaign, there is only one step on the campaign level, which we're actually going to jump into the ad account and see. But just so you understand, the only step at the campaign level of your ad is telling Facebook the objective of your ad. And for most businesses, they don't really think much about it. So let's actually look at what those options are. I'm going to switch to, this is just an ad account I've had for years and never used. When you click create on a campaign, it gives you a dozen or so options. Anything from awareness to reach, which is the number of people that see the ad. Traffic is link clicks. Engagement are people that like, comment, share, and save. App installs, obvious. Video views are people that watch for about, I think their goal is about 15 seconds of watch time. Lead generation is emails directly on Facebook. Messages is people messaging your Facebook page. Conversions is where you get your purchases, where you send people to your landing page and get them to convert. And then whatever other conversion, people buying stuff. That's basically what this is. This store traffic is people physically coming to your store location if you have a brick and mortar store. And a catalog sale is basically, it's called a carousel of different products you have for sale on your store, so that people can browse on Facebook and choose what products they want to buy and then visit your site to actually purchase. So on the first stage, right, we literally just click create. And on the very first stage of the campaign, you have to choose your objective. And most businesses don't really think about this step. They just kind of choose, traffic or video views, or they want lots of reach, but they don't understand what actually happens here. So on the next stage of the campaign, on the ad set level, which we'll get to in a second, you are choosing an audience to talk to. And that could be anything from your email list, your website visitors, people that engage with your Facebook page, to lookalike audiences and interest-based targeting. And when you create those groups of people, it could be anywhere from 50 or so people on your email list to millions of people that care about a specific interest. Like if you do the interest of marketing, it has 500 million people in that audience. So it literally can be a tiny little small audience of 20, 50 people to millions and millions of people in the audience. But how does Facebook choose who actually sees the ad within that group of people? The way Facebook chooses is based on the objective you choose on this first stage of the campaign. So that's where we go into the slideshow. Imagine you have this list of lookalikes in America. So lookalikes in America, 1%, are about 2.5 million people. And Facebook has to choose within that large group of 2.5 million people who should be seeing the ad first. The way Facebook chooses is based on user behavior on the platform, based on the objective you choose. So if you choose video view campaigns, Facebook's going to look specifically for people that love watching videos. They scroll through, they see a video, they stop, they watch, and then they leave. But they love to watch videos. They browse the watch tab on the Facebook app. They love just watching videos, moving on through and watching videos. So you're gonna target people within your target market, specifically those that watch lots of videos, because that's what you ask for. You ask for video views, you get video views. And that same thing is true with link clicks. You get the people that love clicking on all the links. But guess what? A person that loves clicking on lots of links is not the same person as someone who actually goes to a store, browses on that store, views products, and ends up buying. It's not the same user behavior. One person loves clicking on links. And guess what? You'll get so many clicks, you won't know what to do with them, but you likely won't get that many sales. So what you want to do is make sure that you choose the objective that actually matches the business goal you want to get with the money you're spending. So almost always the answer is conversions, whether that is a lead, a purchase, someone to watch your webinar, someone to, sign up, get your book for free plus shipping, whatever the funnel is that you're using. You likely want the person that is most likely going to convert. And that is why I always tell businesses to start their campaigns as a conversion campaign. Once you have it working and running and making sales, then you can go and test other objectives. But on stage one, when you first started, you want to be targeting conversions. What this is going to do is, even within your email list, let's say you have 200 people on your email list, right? Which is great. 200 people on your email list. You want to specifically target those people that have the highest likelihood of buying your products. So Facebook's going to take the money you spend, even just the first dollar, and specifically target those people within that small group of 20. And same too, in a much larger group of millions of people from a lookalike, Facebook will specifically choose those people that have the highest likelihood of converting on an offer. So that's really the first tip here. Tip number one for your Facebook ads on how to drive more leads to your business is make sure you choose the objective that matches the goal you have with the money you're spending on Facebook. So that's tip number one. Okay, great. So now let's jump back into the Ads Manager. Ads Manager is here. So we've chosen our conversion objective, and we're going to move, and we can name it, right? We're going to name it, Designhill.
We also have responses to our polls.
Yes. What do we have here?
So 19 people have responded. Out of 19, 58 people have never run a Facebook ad, and 42% people have run it. So the maximum number of audience who have responded to the poll have not run the Facebook ads.
Okay,
before.
great. So I'm glad that we're walking through the beginning steps. That's perfect. Okay, thank you. Okay, so the second stage here is called the ad set. So Facebook actually lays this out, I believe, nicely. It might just be nicely for me because I've seen it so many times. They break the ad down, every campaign down into 3 stages. The campaign, which you see here on the top. You can see my screen, right?
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Great. Okay, great. So you see here the campaign. The next stage is the ad set, which we're going to dig into in a second. And the final stage is the actual ad. So now let's jump into the ad set level. So we created our campaign. We set it to conversions, and you can even go and set it to what's called CBO. We're definitely not going to have time to dig into that. And we're just going to set it, to let's say 350 shekel, which is $100 a day, right? Great. So it's set, ready to go. The next stage is who do you want to target and where do you want them to see the ad? So this account does not have a pixel, but in normal situations, you would go and you would choose, either you want to lead, you want to purchase, whatever your objective is, that is going to be set here. And you're going to tell Facebook, I want to purchase. Great. So it's set up. Then you scroll down and you tell them, who do you want to target? Where do they live? And you could, now, how wide or small can you go here? You could type worldwide and target every person in the world on Facebook. 2.1 billion people that are using Facebook that can be targeted, Facebook and Instagram, that can be targeted with ads right now. Or if you want to go the total opposite direction, you could literally say, I don't know where I am in the world right now, but just here. I want to target people that live where I live. Let's not get too here. Tel Aviv, Israel. So here we are, Tel Aviv, Israel. I could literally drop a pin right there in Tel Aviv, Israel. And I could say, I want it to be 1 mile from this pin dot. That's how wide or specific you can go. And we saw we were at 22.1 billion people. Now in this tiny little 1 mile dot on the map, we have 50,000, just around 50,000 people we could be targeting with Facebook ads. So again, if you're a business that is an e-commerce business and sells nationally or internationally, you could target as many people as you want. But if you're a local store, just a sushi store in Tel Aviv, it is unlikely that someone's going to drive more than 20 miles to come to your store and buy sushi. So depending on what makes sense for your business, that's where you'd be targeting. And then from there, you can get into, what sort of interest these people have. You could browse through these demographics, which is really almost endless. Education is, where they went to school, what they studied in school, how far they got into school, how many years they're in school. The financial breakdown is how much money they make. Life events, like if they're married, if their birthdays are coming up, if they're friends of people that are birthdays coming up, like it's really an endless list of interests and behaviors and targeting and, and then even custom audiences, which just like really goes in very deep as far as, people you want to be reaching. You could do people based on what they did on your website, an email or a phone number you have, if they've engaged with your Instagram account, engage with your Facebook, engage with a video, even someone who just watches 3 seconds of a video that you posted is enough to be a targetable audience on Facebook. So you just like understand the scope of being incredibly niche and targeting one, you can't really do one, but like 20 to 30 people on Facebook, to being incredibly broad and targeting all 2.1 billion people on the platform. That's really how big or small you could go depending on what makes sense for you. And then over here, I don't really love to dig into here only because for most businesses, I highly suggest just doing automatic placements. It works great. Some people really like to only be in certain places, and you could do that, again, as broad as you like or as narrow as you like. You can go anywhere from all placements to I only want to be seen in story ads. I only want to be seen in the feed. So really, that is the potential of what Facebook could do as far as targeting. And that's on the ad set level. And then finally, the ad level, before we jump into more tips back in the slideshow, is what the actual ad looks like. So I'm going to go here. I have like dozens of pages. So this is my personal business account page. And I can create an ad. And again, anything you can think of, you could do here. So I want to add an image. I want to add a video. I want to add a carousel ad. Anything you want to do, you can add images. I have no idea what images are on here, so I'm not even sure what's going to come up. Here's pictures of me. Great. A picture of me. And this could be my ad, and it'll actually show me what it will look like. And I can go and I can crop it so I could fit what is a square, and I could decide I only want this, where obviously I would probably get rid of the text, but you could go and select this as the ad. And then I could type in whatever text, headline, post text. It's called primary text now. The URL and the call to action button. So you could choose anything from learn more, sign up, shop now, download, stuff like that. Lots of options for what the text looks like. And that is basically the process of setting up your first ad. So for someone who literally has no idea how to set up an ad, that is the step. That's the steps necessary. On the campaign level, you choose your objective. On the ad set level, you choose who you're targeting. And on the ad level, you choose what the actual ad looks like and where the person is going to go once they've clicked on the ad. So for the very basic beginner, we've covered that. And now I want to jump into the more in-depth tips. So the best way to see this is once you start running ads, you want to have an idea of what's working and if it's working and what should be, what should you spend more money on and what isn't working and has to be turned off. So there's so much data that one can get from running Facebook ads. And to truly know that, I want to show you an actual active account. This is one of my clients. They're a really amazing brand. We've been working together for over a year now. They're called Bailey's Blossoms, and they sell girls' clothing, newborn, all the way up to women's size large. And they run a lot of ads. And when I say a lot of ads, I mean together since we started, the account's older than I've been working with them since July 2019, but we've been working together for a long time. We have spent together delivery. How many campaigns are active right now? I mean, how many campaigns have we run together? We've run 2,300 campaigns and generated over $8 million in revenue together. We spent $2.3 million and made $14,664,000, which is a 6.4 times return since we started working together.
That's a crazy number.
Yes, it's wild. So what's active right now? So if we look at what's active right now, and again, for the novice, I would not suggest running this many campaigns. We have active 106 campaigns, all of which are run within the last month. All creative active right now has only been running for 1 month, and we're running 100 active campaigns. But just look at the sheer amount of data we can get from our Facebook ad account. So I've set this up to show me the data I want to see readily, but there's so much more data. So here you could see the number of impressions. So let's just do this month. The data is like overwhelming. So we've been running ads 18 days. We've had 5.8 million impressions, of which we reached 750,000 unique people. We're again only targeting the United States, only women, so much narrower than all 2.1 billion people on the platform. But in the last 18 days, we reached 750,000 people 7.8 times. But we're running 100 creatives. So we got plenty more times where they will not run out of things to look at. We're not showing them the same ad over and over again. What we see is the average cost per 1,000 impressions is $9.19. Then we see the average cost per click is 90 cents, which is really great, especially for e-commerce. And then we can continue to see, what does it cost to get an add to cart? What does it cost to get a checkout? What does it cost to get a purchase? And then what do we actually make from that purchase? It says right here, five times return on this month alone with 4,783 purchases, right? So this is a lot of data, but it's not even close to all of the data that we could see. You could see engagement, and you can see the number of likes, comments, and shares, right? We had just this 18 days, we've had 650 shares, 1,000 saves, 1,600 comments, 11,000 reactions. That's not all. You can see the number of video views, and we could see this is just ad views. We've had 5 million impressions, of which 192,000 have watched 3 seconds, and you can see how much it costs. And it just keeps going, not just video impressions, but how much engagement, and then even more data we don't have. Let's switch back to the custom built one I have for a second. So this is my custom funnel, so I can see everything, purchase everything, and you can actually go and add more and more columns, like literally anything you can think of, any data point, Facebook is saving it. The number of engagements, the number of likes on the page, the number of posts, comments on the post, or engagement on the post, reactions on the post. Anything you want, you can see that piece of data and you can add it to your columns. Literally anything. The number of clicks, the cost per click, the number of people that registered or leads or who knows, every single thing you could imagine, it's all in here. The gender targeting of the ad, the age targeting of the ad, every single thing you want, you can see that here. It is incredibly overwhelming. So how do we take all of this data and just ask a basic question? Should I spend more or should I turn this ad account off? That's what I want to know. Should I turn this ad campaign off or should it spend more money? So when I'm looking at this at the beginning, I want to look at 4 pieces of data. The 4 pieces of data are the CPM, which stands for cost per 1,000 impressions, CPC, which is time on site. Sorry, the CPC is cost per click, time on site, and conversion rate. Those are the 4 metrics I want to look at. So you could literally look at infinite number of metrics. These are the 4 metrics, and I'm going to explain why I care about these 4. So let's start first with CPM, which again means cost per 1,000 impressions. So there's a major difference between Facebook and Google, which are the two largest ad platforms. The main difference is when it comes to Google, you are paying per click on your ad. So if you're running an ad and it never gets a single click, but it had millions of impressions, not a single click, you will pay no money. You're only going to pay if someone clicks. But with Facebook, they don't charge you for a click. They charge you for the impression of that ad showing up in someone's newsfeed, messenger, story, whatever that might be. They are charging you simply to get that impression. And the fact that that's how they're charging you shows us that that cost is very important. Because if we know that we're paying too much for that cost, it means that Facebook does not like how we're running the ad. They don't like something about us. So that if we see that the cost is too high, we want to fix something. The question is, what can we fix? Right now we're running an ad, we're targeting people. This is the ad we're running ads to. What can we fix right now in order to lower the cost per click, the cost per impression, to get more people to see my ad for less money? And the answer, there's really only two things to fix. Either the targeting, the people that you're talking to, or the actual ad itself. That's it. Those are the only two things I could change in order to get a lower cost per click. A lower cost per impression. So if I see that my costs are too high, I either have to change the ad, fix something in the ad to make it more appealing to the people I'm talking to, or find different people to talk to. So that is stage one in your ads. You spent money, you spent $100 on your account. You're now looking at the results, and you see that your average cost per impression is too high. Step one is either find someone new to talk to or try different ads. Now, obviously, what the thing you should do in your business will depend on your business. We mentioned if your business can only target a small group of people in the middle of nowhere, Tennessee, then that's the people you're stuck with. Those are the people you have to target because that's your target demographic. But if you're the type of business that could, start targeting new countries or new demographics or different genders or different age groups you haven't targeted yet, those are definitely things you should be trying here in order to test to figure out how to decrease your average cost per impression. And the opposite side of this is the ad itself. Again, if you can't find new people to talk to, you have to try different creative, whether that's try a video instead of an image, try a carousel instead of a slideshow, whatever that might look like, a different creative, different text on the ad. That is step one in your ad optimization in order to get more people to see your ad. Now, why is it important to get more people to see your ad? The more people that see your ad, the higher likelihood you're going to get people to engage. The more impressions you have, the higher likelihood you're going to get people to click, the higher likelihood you're going to get more people to come to your site, the higher likelihood you're going to get purchases. So you want to make sure that you can drive down the cost of impression as much as possible in order to get the most number of impressions so that we can move them along to the next stage. The next stage is CPC, which is cost per click. So you've gotten the person to see your ad. You're targeting the people you need to be targeting, and you're getting an appropriate cost per impression that you're happy with, and it's average for your ad account. People always ask me, what's a good CPM? What's a good CPC? And the answer is, I have no idea. It depends totally on your business. If you've run ads in the past, you spent $200 on ads, $500 on ads, you have an average cost of CPM and CPC, average cost per impression, average cost per click. And those are the metrics you should use to try to beat those numbers. You should try to outperform the numbers you have. And why is it so important? Because simply the objective you choose. Remember, even within the same audience, selecting a different objective will get different people to see your ad. So what that means is that if I target a lookalike for video views, I might have one cost per impression. If I target them for link clicks, I'll have a different cost per impression. If I target them for conversions, I'll have a totally different cost per impression, and so on and so forth. As I change just the one thing objective, I'll dramatically be changing the average cost per impression, the average cost per click. So that's why it's so important to have an average for your account, and then just the goal of trying to beat that number. Okay, so that's my answer to what is normal. It's whatever's normal for your business. So now we have your cost per click. Again, you've gotten your cost per impression down to where you like, which means, as of now, that the audience that you're targeting matches with the sort of ad you're running ads to. That's what it means. The fact that you have a low cost means Facebook believes that the people you're talking to and the ad you're trying to run to them match. So what's the next stage? The next stage is making sure they actually click on the ad. So what are the two things you could do? Either change the link, change the call to action on the ad, which is something we showed. You could try the shop now or the learn more or the download or the sign up. Try different call to action buttons. And the second option is to reword your text to make it more compelling for people to click. It can be as simple as click here to learn more. And that will likely drive more people to click. So just simply leaving the link, the URL directly in the primary text of the post. This does not work on Instagram, but on Facebook, where they can click on the ad, the text of the ad itself. That's another great way, leaving the link right there in the post for them to click and learn more. So those are the two things you could do in order to drive your average cost per click down. So from there, we move to the third one, which is time on site. So you've gotten the person to see your ad, cost per impression. You've gotten them to click and come to your site. The next step is how long they actually spend on your site. If they come and they spend 4 seconds on your page, then that's not enough to do anything. So you want them to spend as much time as necessary to complete the thing you want them to complete. So if you have a very short landing page that just says sign up here, how long should it take to read that whole page? 30 seconds, a minute? So if the average time is shorter than that, you got a big problem. If you have a super long sales letter that's 15 pages long that takes 2 hours to read, and their average time on page is 1 minute, that's not long enough. So for some pages, a minute is great. And for some pages, a minute is horrible. So again, it's very much based on the page you're sending them to and how long you expect them to have to be there in order to complete whatever objective. So my advice is, what you should do is you should aim to get an average time on site of 50%, how long you think it would be for someone to read the text on your site and complete the form or purchase on that page. So if you come to a sales page and it takes on average 5 minutes to watch a video and read text, the goal is to get as close to 2.5 minutes of time on site. That's the goal here. Because we know that there'll be people that are bad and they're not useful and they're not going to convert and they're not interested. But then there'll be people who love and stay and read and watch and want to learn more. So if you have a mix of those two people, you end up average, what'll be about 50% of the time we believe. So time on site is 50% of what we believe it should take to convert. And the goal is to get it as high as possible so that they can come and they could do what they need to do and then leave the site having purchased your product. So again, we've gotten the impression, we got them to click, they got them to come to the site. What can we do to actually get them to stay? So one of the things that Facebook cares a lot about, and users as well, but more so Facebook, is that there's a very clear match between the ad they click on and the landing page they get to. So I used to see this a lot in my Facebook ad journey. I started running ads in 2012, so I've seen quite a lot of ads. And used to be that people would talk about one thing in the ad and then send people to a totally different landing page having nothing to do with that thing that they saw in the ad. For example, win a free trip to Aruba. You're going to click that. I click that ad. I want a free trip to Aruba. Anywhere I can go at this point, pandemic time, I'm ready. Send me out. Bora Bora. So you want a free trip. So you click on the ad and you get there and it says, buy my business course. And you're just like, what am I doing here? Why am I on this page? It has nothing to do with where's Bora Bora? Where's the cruise? So you want to make sure that the text and the headlines and the imagery of the ad directly match up to the landing page so that people understand I clicked on that link and I got here and it makes sense. And this is why I'm supposed to be here. Because people do not have time to think about whatever, and making it more confusing than it has to be will get them to leave. So you want a clear match between the ad and the landing page. And this is why I actually suggest to clients to use words from the landing page. Like go through the landing page, find the most interesting, engaging lines of text, and literally copy paste those into the words of your ads. And I found that those work very well. And then obviously you want to make sure that the person can get to the goal of the ad as quickly as possible. So if you told them sign up to get, a free review of your ad account, for example, it should be very simple. I should come to a landing page. I should clearly be able to see how to fill out a form, and I should be able to leave. That's what this bring user directly to the correct offer. A lot of times we see people send to like the homepage, like excuse me, I want to buy this pair of shoes. And then you send me to the homepage. I got to find the shoes. I don't know how to use your website. I don't know anything about your company. How am I supposed to find this pair of shoes that I saw in this ad? So what you want to do is make sure that the ad matches the offer that they're actually able to complete right there and then on that ad. And the fourth step is the conversion rate. If you manage to get someone to see your ad and click and come to your site and spend time on your page, but they don't actually convert, then who cares that they did all those things? They spent 27 minutes on your site, but they didn't actually convert. You have a problem. So you want to do is you want to figure out why they're not actually buying, why they're not signing up, why they're not becoming leads. And usually the best way to do that is simply to test different offers. So if you have an offer that's 50% off, let's try. You have an offer that's 10% off, try 15% off. You have a bundle, try a different bundle. You have a free plus shipping coupon, try a different product, try a different offer, try something else, because they're obviously interested in the thing you're doing because they're spending time to read, but specifically this offer does not interest them. So this is where you'd want to tweak your offers, try something different and see what you could do there. And then the last step, which to me is the funniest, is form simplicity. So Unbounce, which is a very well-known landing page creator, probably like one of the first landing page creators, they did a ton of testing around how to get people to complete forms on your site. And what they found was that the number of boxes in your form directly correlates to the percentage of people that will complete the form. So if you just have one box, just ask for their email and nothing else, that's the highest conversion rate. It's something they said like 84%, assuming all other factors are equal, 84% of people will convert when it just asks for one thing. But if you ask for two things, it drops from 84 to like 35. Like just asking for their name and their email, you've lost 50% of the people that would have converted simply because you asked for their name. But now imagine you ask for their first name and their last name and their email. That's three things. You've now lost another 10 to 15% of people. In fact, they say once you've asked for four things, you might as well just keep asking for more and more things because the average conversion rate isn't much different between 4 and I think 7 or 8. So that means once you've asked for 4, for example, their first name, their last name, their email, and their phone number, you might as well keep going. What's your dog's name? When's your kid's birthday? What's your social security number? Just keep going. Just keep asking more questions because the average conversion rate won't be significantly changed by that. So what you want to do is the opposite. If you don't need information, don't ask for it. Don't ask for their first and last. What are you going to do with their first and last name on a lead generation form? I don't know much. You don't need both. So figure out how to make that form as simple as possible. So that is stage 2 tip for ads. So step 1, we talked about is simply choosing the right objective for your campaign. Step 2 is figuring out which metrics matter and how to optimize and get the best results. I realize now we only have about 6 more minutes before we go into questions. I do want to answer lots and lots of questions. So I'm going to do this part and this, we will end here. These 5 slides, we're going to cover these 5 slides. It's a little more, but basically these 5 slides, and then we're going to go into questions. So the next step here is who should I be targeting with my ads? Who should be seeing my ads? So first the question is, what are the options? So we talked a little about in the ad account, who we could be targeting. So we want to define groups of people into 3 sections, either cold audience or people that have never heard of your brand before. They have no idea who you are, and you're introducing yourself for the first time to them in an ad. Warm people are people that sort of kind of know who you are. Maybe they watched like a couple of seconds of a video, or they came to your Instagram page one time. They don't really know you, but they kind of know you a little bit. And then warm are those people that, they're on your email list. They bought from you in the past. They know you very well. Maybe you've even had phone call conversation with them. They've been a lead of yours for a long time. They know you very well. So all audiences can be broken down into those 3 groups: cold, warm, and hot. So what I'm suggesting now is when you start with your ads, especially people who've never run an ad campaign, do not target cold audiences to start. The reason is because you don't know what works. Facebook doesn't know what works. They have no idea who you are. And you will get the most bang for your buck if you can focus on these 2 groups, the warm people and the hot people. Let me show you why. I just moved a box. Lots of things happening here. Okay, so this is an example here of an email list. So let's say you have 10,000 subscribers on your email list, which is a fine size email list. I know people work very hard to build email lists of this size. Great. So I played in the email game for a long time. Before I started my own business in 2015, I worked in 2012, 13, and 14 heavily on email marketing. I sent, my company that I worked optimizing emails sent out approximately 3 million emails a month to warm audiences. So these are people that actively signed up to emails, and we sent 3 million emails a month. So I know quite a lot about email marketing as well. So the average rate back then in 2012, 13, 14 was somewhere around 17 to 21%. Today, I've actually heard it's gotten a lot worse, like 15, 12% is sort of normal, 12 to 15, maybe 17%. But let's just say 20% open rate. So that means you spent money. You've actively created offers and gotten people on your 10,000 people came to your email list, but only 20% of them will even open your email. So that's only 2,000 people. Only 2,000 of this 10,000 people you've worked very, very hard to get on your list. But how many of them will actually click on your email to actually come to your landing page? Average click-through rate of people that open, the email, only about 3 to 5% of those people will actually end up clicking to come to your landing page. So what are we left with? Only about 300 to 350 people from the 10,000 that will actually click to come to your landing page to learn about the offer that you talked about in your email. And of those 300 so people, a conversion rate, again, of the email list, of all the people, you're talking about like maybe 1%. What we say normally is that a 3% conversion from the clicks to the site is about average. We're going to talk about that in 2 slides. But so basically we have 10,000 people and 100 of them buy. Great. You got 100 sales, which, could be really great for lots of businesses. 100 sales is really fantastic. But that means that out of your 10,000 people, 9,900 of them didn't buy. And of those 9,900, 8,000 of them didn't even know you sent them an email. They didn't even open the email. They have no idea what you have to offer. So if you were to start simply targeting these 9,900 people that did not buy, how many of them can you get to buy? Well, I'll tell you a whole lot more than cold audiences who have no idea who you are. You could easily retarget those 9,900 people, and you'll get a much higher conversion rate on those people than any other audience you'll look to target. If, of course, that's an email list that you worked hard to build and people actively signed up and wanted your email, that's a really great list of people. Now imagine just selling another 1% of those 9,900 people. Another 1% would be another 199 sales, right? So imagine doubling the number of sales you can get simply by additionally running ads to the people that are on your email list. Next one is Facebook page likes. Now this number, I created these numbers a while ago. I think it's even worse now. You have 10,000 likes on your Facebook page. Again, you've worked very hard to get 10,000 page likes on your Facebook page. And you're lucky if 1% of people, like I think 3% is like over, I don't think anyone's getting 3% anymore. So let's say 1% of people, that's 100 people will even see a post that you make. So you're like working hard to make videos. You're going Facebook Live. You're posting in carousels, who knows what, videos all the time. Maybe 100 people will even see the post. And then of the 100 people that see the post, maybe you'll get not 50 clicks, like 5 or 6 clicks out of 100 impressions. And then maybe you'll get 1 sale. Like these are the numbers now, like maybe 1 sale. Every 10,000 people on your Facebook page, maybe 1 will actually buy, 2 or 3, maybe you'll get 2 or 3 buyers. So that means that if I'm able to pick any people to talk to, I could be targeting these 9,000 people that chose to like my page. They know who I am. They trust me enough to like my page. I could be targeting those people to run ads to them. And then, additionally to these Facebook page likes, Facebook page engagement. So what I've seen, the norm, obviously it could be different for you if you have a very engaged audience or a very non-engaged audience, but on average, for every 1 page like, this is true both for Facebook and Instagram, for every 1 page like, you should have approximately 4 page engagers, which means someone who visited your page or liked commented or shared, they messaged your page, they clicked on a button on your page. These are all things that would get them entered into your page engagement audience. That's, again, 4 times more people, 40,000 people to target that know who you are, seen something of yours before, trust you enough to have liked, commented, or shared, message you. Those are really a great audience to be targeting that simply not a lot of these people are buying. Again, maybe 5 out of 10,000 people. Now, the last one is website visitors. So again, out of 10,000 visitors, we mentioned the average conversion rate for e-commerce is somewhere around 3%. Obviously, depending on how much traffic you get, if it's very small, then it'll be a higher conversion rate. If it's very large, it'll probably be a lower conversion rate. But again, if you have 10,000 people, they actually got to your landing page. 10,000 people actually got to your landing page. They definitely know who you are. How'd they get here? They know who you are. Only about 400 of them were buy out of 10,000 people. Which means, again, out of 10,000 people, 9,600 people did not buy from the page about the offer. These would be the greatest people to talk to in ads. So this is just a very, this makes it very clear. From your email list, 96% of the people on your email list never made it to your landing page, never saw the offer you had to give them. From your Facebook page likes, 95% of them never even saw the post about the thing you have to offer. And from your website visitors, 97% of them did not convert. So if you had to spend your first dollars on Facebook, if that's $10 or $100 or $1,000, the first, I would say $2,000 a month in Facebook ad spend should be exclusively focused on these warm audiences of all the people falling through the cracks in your ads and not converting, because they are going to be the ones that are most likely to know who you are, be interested in your offer, and be wanting to buy. But if you start with cold audiences, like I have here on this slide, you have lookalikes, interest-based targeting, broader, behaviors that we saw already in the ad account that we looked at. There's so much more targeting we could do, but if you start by targeting there, it's likely that you'll get much worse return on your ads. Facebook won't know the right sort of people to target, and you'll be losing lots of money. So my advice to you is start with email subscribers, website visitors, Facebook page likes, Facebook friends, Facebook engagement, video viewers. Those are the people to start with. And then once you've nailed down and seen what creative works for those people, what landing page, what offer works for them, as we mentioned before, those things, those data points. What ad is the one that gets them to click for the lowest price? What's the one that gets them to spend the longest time on my site? What's the one that gets them to buy most often? Now is the time to go to those lookalike audiences, interest-based targeting, behaviors, geographic targeting, and find more and more people to show the already proven ad creative to them. So I want to just show two tools that I use. This one's very expensive. I would not suggest this for beginner people. I'm spending on this platform something like $11,000 a year for it. So if you're not heavily invested in Facebook ads, this is not the tool for you, but just the sheer amount of data they can create is amazing. They take your data on Facebook and they chop it into tiny little sections and then create lookalikes to all of them. So this one you see here, it says 47 selected. 47 is the number of lookalikes audiences they can create based on data, either from your Facebook page or your website. So they could take all your website data and say, anyone who spent more than 3 minutes on your site, that's a great audience, right? They spent 3 minutes on your site. They're doing something. They're reading, they're watching, they're doing something. Create a lookalike. Someone who visited the cart page on your site, make a lookalike. Someone who watched more than 95% of a video on your Facebook page, make a lookalike. Someone who messaged your page, make a lookalike. So they're creating all these lookalikes for all this data that you have, and they're literally maximizing the number of people you could target. This is a really, really great tool, and I highly recommend it for people who are very serious about Facebook ads, but definitely not for the beginner. The second tool I really like is called Interest Explorer. It's much cheaper. It's only like $100. It's $100 forever, no monthly fee, no anything. And what it does is it scrapes all of the data from Facebook's targeting, interest targeting. So you want to find more interest to target, you literally type in a word. So you want to type in like dogs, type in dogs into Interest Explorer. I can actually show you what this looks like because I still have it here. So I go in here into App Explorer, Interest Explorer, and I could type anything I want. So like you're selling dog food, right? That could be an example. So I'm selling dog food. Let's just keep to that one. That's great. So we're waiting till it loads because obviously things on the internet move very slowly when you want them to actually work. And I type in here, dog food, right? Dog food. And what Facebook now shoots out when I type in dog food are 40 interests related to dog food. And I could sort by the size of the audience. And I see cats. Do I want to target cats? So that makes sense. Pet food, dog breeds, puppy, pet store. And it actually shows me how large each of these audiences are. The interest dog food has 48 million people. Dog lovers. Purina pet care, dog grooming, right? Royal Canine, I assume, is a brand of dog food. And I could actually go, what I like about this is I can actually go to Google. It searches Google for that phrase. And it is, in fact, a dog food brand. So this dog food brand, Royal Canine, has 11 million people interested in that group. So you actually build this, what Whiskas, I assume that's a cat food brand. If I click on it, I could see they are, in fact, a cat food brand. And you could do the same thing for Facebook. The button actually does the same thing. It searches Facebook. Who knows what's going to show up on my Facebook, but it's going to search Facebook for that same phrase. 5 messages. Look at me. I'm very popular. And you'll see here the number of the page. You actually go to the page and see who, what's going on, what sort of posts they have. This is a really great tool. And I highly recommend it for anyone who's serious about Facebook ads. $100, well worth it. These are actual interests you could target on Facebook right now for people that are interested. And you keep going. So like we found dog food, we typed in. So what about dog lovers? I can actually search. This little thing here, based on the size of the audience, can search that interest for additional interests. And I have another 26 interests related to that dog, that term. And I keep going, dog breed, puppy, dog training, stuff like that. So this is a really, really great tool that will definitely help you maximize the number of people that are going to potentially be able to see your ad account. So that, I'm going to cut it off here. I do want to answer questions. This goes into a whole other topic about what the ad should look like and on each stage of your ad campaign. But before we jump into questions, I do want to tell you that I do have a Facebook. I have a Facebook ads course that's very cheap. I'm selling it through Fiverr, and they're charging like $50. And I have a coupon for another 25% off. So if you use this coupon FB25, you'll save 25% on the course. And again, I personally would never charge this little for a course, but Fiverr is selling it, so they chose the price. I highly recommend anyone who this is for more advanced people. It goes much more in depth. If you're looking to really, expand your knowledge on Facebook ads, it's definitely the place to go. And I hope that you learned a lot here. And anyone that has any questions, I would love to answer them.
All right. First of all, Isdil, before I jump to Q&A, I have to tell you this, that the kind of the content that you have shared and, all the insights that you have shared was super valuable. I run Facebook ads myself and I have learned a lot. And I'm sure the audience have the same feelings like I have right now. And the energy that you bring to the table is amazing. So thank you so much for that. I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed every minute of the session. And we have almost completed 1 hour. And to be honest with you, I have no idea how the time passed. So it was wonderful to listen to you and the insights that you have shared. And all right, before any further ado, we have limited time and let me see the questions. We do have some questions here. So let's check them out. Let me maximize your screen. Okay. So can you visit the question section so that you can read out the yeah.
There were some questions before.
Yeah, all the questions are there.
All the questions are here. Okay, so the first question is the course. So I'm just going to type in the course is learn.ratspackmedia.com and the code is FB25. I'm going to put that right there into the top question. I should probably sort it by upvote. So that was just the newest post. Okay, upvotes. For the beginners, how do I create attractive ads on Facebook with Facebook ads? So for someone who's beginning, honestly, you should just start with the people that know who you are, because you can learn the type of ad they like to see and then use that ad to target other people. So people, I just saw this comment chain on a Facebook post that someone said, should I make really pretty looking landing pages or really ugly looking landing pages? And it's a debate that we've had, for years on how beautiful does my landing page have to be? So someone commented like, no, you only want to create beautiful landing pages. And then this guy who's like a multimillionaire digital marketer stepped in and was like, let's be honest here. I've created some seriously ugly landing pages and they worked way better than any pretty one. And they made me lots of money. So just because something's beautiful, something's, nice or clean or whatever, does not mean it will work best. I usually say like this, test anything you can think of, like literally any dumb thing you could think of, you should test it. And the worst one, the one you hate the most, will be the best performer. Every time. The one you hate the most will be the best performer. I had this business coach a while ago, and we were selling this course. And again, this is like a serious, like $1,000 course or something like that. I told her to go to a bar, like she was in the hotel, go to a bar and do a boomerang of her just like cheerings with a shot glass, like with champagne. And she made this 2-second, 3-second video. And we uploaded that video. Like, again, like the other videos were like super intense, in-depth, data, blah, 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 results. This was like her, cheering, 3-second boomerang. And that brought in like 12 times return on her ad spend, something like insane like that. So you never know what's going to work. Just assume whatever, literally the dumbest things, like me holding a book, book, like literally it could be anything as long as it relates to your product. So I have a client, Bailey's Blossoms, we mentioned. We found that photo albums, which is actually not an ad type, it's a type of it's a post type. So you go into Facebook and you can add as many, you post a normal post on Facebook, post as many posts as you want. Sorry, as many images as you want in a single post, 5, 6 posts. So what we found is that if we do a photo album of 4 pictures, that's the best performing post on Facebook. It brings in the most sales, it gets the most engagement, comments, likes, and shares, and it works the best as an ad. Like you would ever think that a photo album would work the best as an ad. We almost exclusively only run videos under 30 seconds and photo albums. No single ads, no single images, no long form videos, nothing. Just short form 30-second or less videos and photo albums. And why does that work for Bailey's Blossoms? Because they have a lot of stuff for sale. They have dresses and rompers and shirts and bands and shoes and socks, who knows, everything you could imagine. So what we do is we take a category, rompers, and we'll post 4 different pictures of different styles of different rompers. And then instead of sending them to one product, we send them to the rompers category page and let them browse. And that's what we found to be the most effective. Again, the 6 times return. That what we found to be the most effective is letting people see what's available through the photo album ad, and then let them scroll and pick out the ones that they want on the landing page. So what's the best and most creative ad? It really is what fits best for your brand. Try as much as possible. I actually had someone just message me. They know a brand that posts 30 new pieces of content every day for ads, which is an absurd amount of content to manage even, but 30 pieces of content new every single day. And that's the name of the game, is literally just test random things to your warm audiences, find the best performers, and then run those ads, the same exact ad to cold audiences. So that's first one. Next question. I have a question. How is this technique can impact the process of Facebook ads that will be visible to the public audience? I think I answered that question. We want to find the ad that works best for the warm audiences and then target large, broad audience. I believe I answered that. If I did not, Kenny, just tell me that I didn't. Can I reach up to Indonesia? If we advertise determine that the target age is 17 to 25, does this affect costs? So yes. So for answer number 1 is you could target anywhere. You could type Indonesia. You could type a city, a street, literally drop a pin on the place where your store is located and do 5 miles away, all that stuff. You could target by age. Anything from 13 to 65 plus is a targeting option. So yes, 100%. Now, does it affect ad costs? Of course it affects ad costs. Facebook is a bidding platform. You're running ads against every other advertiser targeting to that same audience. So right now, if you target, Las Vegas, right? Take like New York City. Mothers in New York City, 35 to 55, are probably the highest targeted audience in all of America, and probably the most expensive audience. Because other people are trying to reach that same audience, it's going to cost the most to get that impression. So the answer is 100%. Targeting the middle of Indonesia will likely be considerably cheaper than targeting, Miami Beach, targeting middle of Manhattan, targeting Las Vegas, targeting LA, San Francisco. These are much more expensive places to target. And again, by age demographic, how many people are targeting 65 plus grandmothers in Indonesia? Probably a lot less than are targeting 35-year-old women, for buying a new bottle of champagne, right? 100%. Okay, so that's that question. Next question. I know we are a little over time. We'll go like 5 minutes more. Hopefully we'll run through some questions. What is the ideal amount of money someone needs to start out? Start out $5 a day, $6, as little as possible. That's my suggestion. Start at $1 a day. I have a very good friend, Dennis Yu, who's a very well-known, respected Facebook advertiser, and his suggestion is $1 a day. He says, take your best performing Facebook posts. Go through your Facebook feed. Take your best performing posts, and he literally has metrics exactly how to determine if it's a great post. The number of impressions versus number of likes and the number of comments and share ratios, all this stuff. Just go through your feed, find the 3 best posts in the last 3 months, and spend $5, $2 targeting your email subscribers, your website visitors, and your Facebook page engagement. $5 a day. Literally, that's how you start. Find out what works, make money, bring in sales, and then use that money to target new people. Next question. How can one target an audience with a very specific target, like someone who is interested in buying homes, searching for the same? This may help to improve lead quality. Definitely, as you get more specific in the targeting, it becomes more complicated. How do you find someone who's looking to buy a house? Well, there's a website called Zillow that if I'm actively on Zillow every day or commenting or liking the page, I'm engaging with content about Zillow. Zillow is a website in America where people go and look at website. They go and look at houses to buy. That would likely be a really great targeting option for people interested in buying houses. So if you're looking to target those people, that's one. Now, again, you can go into Interest Explorer, type in Zillow, and Facebook will now shoot out like 30 more interests that you could target. I don't know them all, but I know that once you find one, there's more and more interests. There's more and more lookalikes. Once you can drive a good quality, group of people to your site and they're the right target audience, build a lookalike. That's the name of the game here is start off small, find your warm audience, get the quality people to your site, bring in some money, build a lookalike, an interest group on top of that. Does this process work for Instagram? Instagram is exactly the same thing. Facebook and Instagram ads are run together on the ad account platform. Every single word I said is true both for Facebook and Instagram with one caveat, which is if you run an ad from an existing post on Facebook, that post keeps all of its social proof. Everything about all the social proof, the comments, likes, and shares stay with that post. And when someone sees that ad, it shows them all those comments, likes, and shares. If you boost, if you will, a post from Instagram, it does not save those likes, comments, and shares. So when you take a post that has 1,000 likes or 10,000 likes on Instagram and run it as an ad, it starts at 0. Very frustrating. I'm talking to Facebook a lot about this. I have calls every other week with Facebook. And I said, why can we not fix this? This is really dumb. Works on Facebook. Let's do the same thing on Instagram. Besides that one factor, every other thing is 100% true for Instagram. You run it the same exact way. The image size should be the same. The square 1080 by 1080 is the suggested size, both for Instagram and Facebook. 100% exactly identical. Tell me when I'm gone too far. I have only one more question, but I think I'm doing great.
Yeah, let's take last one.
How much is the minimum amount to invest in Facebook ads? I've invested $20 to $50 per post with no satisfying results. So the answer is literally $1 a day can be enough. The question is if you targeted the right people with the right ad. So you could spend infinite money without ever doing those two things. You could spend $1 million a day and never target the right people with the right message, which is why I suggest instead of spending $1 million a day, spend $2 and target only the right people with the right message, find what works, and then scale that up. So now it is incredibly frustrating. I know for a fact, Carolina, that it is incredibly frustrating to spend money on Facebook and see no return and think that it's a waste of money. But what you must do is focus on the shortest, the best quality post you could do, which is likely a post you've already made or a post that would be very easy to make. Make a video that's 10 seconds long. I just got the new iPhone 12. Here it is, new iPhone 12. I thought the case was a little lighter, but it's very purple. I thought, here we are. It's supposed to be sunset. Unbelievable. So here's my new beautiful my new beautiful case on my phone. Here it is. That's the whole video. Or I tell business coaches, you take a video and you go, I created this new offer. You should sign up. Click down below for more. That's the whole video. 7 seconds, 10 seconds, something like that. Target your best people, your email subscribers, website visitors. I feel like a broken record. Facebook page engagement, video viewers. These are the people to target. Get sales from them, find what works with them, and then talk to new people. So before investing more money, focus on building a small tribe of 20, 30, 50, 100 people that are quality engagers and focus on how to sell to them. Ask literally, if it's that small, call them up on the phone. Hey, John, I know you're interested in my thing. What sort of stuff would you like to see? I don't care about you buy my product. What sort of stuff do you like to see? You want more pictures or videos or who knows? And then just based on that, make more content around the sort of thing that the person that's already following you wants to see. That's it.
All right, that was superb. I really wanted to hear more from you, Israel. And I think looking at the response from the audience and the kind of content that you have shared, I would love to have a part two of the session with you. So if you don't mind, maybe we'll have a part two
Sure.
again. Okay.
Absolutely. Well, I'd love to be back.
Wonderful, wonderful. So that was awesome. All right, guys. This that is the last question of the session, and it brings us to the end of this wonderful session with Israel. This was indeed a value-packed session. Although we could have talked about a lot more, but we are limited by time here. I hope you enjoyed this session. Israel, any last thing that you would like to say to the audience?
What I would say is ads and spending money on your business is very intimidating. So what you have to realize is if you really would like to build your brand, you got to start somewhere. Today, take $5, take your email list, and just start talking to them, testing out new ads. Try 5 or 6 pictures, send them to your product page. Just start something today, because if you keep on pushing off and being afraid that it's not going to work, you're never going to start. And I tell you that if you just start small, build on what works, and build from there, you could literally get to a place where you're spending thousands of dollars a month and generating incredible revenue for your business.
Wonderful, wonderful. All right, guys, this is not where it ends. We have a lot more events like this lined up for you. The next event is on Instagram marketing and how to grow your followers and profit. So make sure you register for that event as well if you want to grow on Instagram. The link of the event will be in the chat section. If you want to stay tuned with events like this, you can follow us on our Instagram page and on our LinkedIn page as well, so that you are updated about all these events, and you can also subscribe to our events newsletter on our events page. You can also suggest us new topics that you want us to cover and new speaker that you want us to host, like Israel. So do that as well. And you can also see all our previous events that we have done on our YouTube channel and on our events page as well. Also, we are also launching some cool design challenges for designers and non-designers, and we have some cool, gift vouchers and offers for everyone. So make sure you also check out our studio challenges page. The link will be in the chat again. On that note, I would like to say bye to everyone who joined us here today. Thank you so much, Israel, once again for joining us. It was amazing having you. I love the energy once again. I have to say this to you. And I'm looking forward to the part 2 of the session. And thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today. I hope you had a good time and you learned a lot. I hope to see you guys in the next session. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. Bye-bye.